Hey friends, it's Jen with the Sold by Jen team at Keller Williams Realty. I was recently spending some time with some clients who are renters, talking about why they should purchase in this market. And we got into a really long conversation, and they made the comment of, if you could only explain that to our friends. So that's why I'm coming on here, because here was the thing that we talked about. Oregon, which already has one of the tightest housing crises in the country, um, uh, recently passed a rule that landlords can raise their rent. What had been capped at 9.9% is now capped at 14.6%. So starting January 1st, 2023, any landlord who chooses to, on the appropriate schedule, can increase the rent by 14.6% or 4.7% higher than they could have a year ago. So if the average one-bedroom rent in the city of Portland is $1,500, in 2023, that makes that same rent $1,719 a month. One-bedroom apartment. It's going to be about $2,600 more per year if your landlord chooses to increase that by 14.6%. So what does that mean? Why do we care? We are used to rent increases. A good landlord probably raises it the 9.9% every year anyway. We care because that dollar amount that you're spending, the conversation that we had to go into, interest rates are at 7%. So interest rates are now just under 7%, 6 point something, almost 7. You're talking about a rent increase of 4.7%. That's literally like 4.7% interest, right? Just money that's gone. So it's interesting of complaining about the interest rate that we're at right now. So what does this all mean? What do I recommend? A couple things. I would start having conversations early with landlords about what the rent increases are going to be on your next rent increase. What are they going to raise your rent would be the first thing. I would start having that conversation with them before they get to have it with you. Talking to them, knowing I'm always a big fan of education and going into the situation eyes wide open. So that would be number one, would be being proactive and you reaching out and finding out about the rent before they come to you. The second thing is that if you are a renter and you plan to stay in Portland for the next 5 to 7 years, I would encourage you to have the conversation about buying. The game has changed completely. The game has changed in the last 90 days. We are seeing price reductions. We're seeing closing cost credits. So if paying that extra closing cost is an issue for you, we're seeing VA loans get accepted again. We're seeing the 3.5% getting accepted again. So if you plan to be in the Portland metro area or Oregon, let me even go that far. If you plan on being in Oregon or Vancouver, Washington area for the next 5 to 7 years, I would highly recommend having a conversation with me, having a conversation with my team, having a conversation with one of our lender partners to really find out what does that mean. And maybe you're still 18 months away. Maybe you're 36 months away. But having the conversation now gets you going to where you want to be when you're ready. We also find that a lot of people are surprised that they're ready before they thought they were going to be ready. I don't know. I would rather pay my own mortgage and be earning my own equity in a house, even if it's only at 2% equity. I'd rather be earning that than paying a landlord 14.6% more rent. Questions or comments, definitely comment below. I'm also super curious to know what people's actual rents are. I'm not always a fan of an average. That's just a statistic. I'm curious to know, what are my people paying for rent? So drop me a comment down below. Let me know if you'd love to have a conversation. Grab a cup of coffee. I'm happy to explain more. But if you're comfortable, I would also love to know what your rent is. And is that a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? What are you renting? So anyway, make it a great day. Just wanted to drop some information about the rent increase that goes into effect January of 2023.